Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another Blender for Korman stream. This is gonna be a bit of a shorter one, cause I have a lot of stuff to do that I don't exactly have time for a full couple hours stream in here, I think. Anyway, today we're going to be doing a couple of important things. First and foremost, we're going to start with making a new... We're going to start by making a water geometry mesh for, yeah. Basically, the entire little water terrain here. Anyway, but yeah, so we're gonna do that by using our plane here as a water delineator, and we're just gonna start selecting things at the water line. So yeah. Anyway, so today, important. Anyway, so the reason I'm doing the water geometry today is because well, not I specifically, but I have learned by asking for help from Adam Hoikis, the guy who helps manage who does all of the fancy Korman stuff. He's one of the lead developers for Korman. You probably know who Adam is if you're into the Uru dev building space. Anyway, I asked him for help the other day, and he was able to tell me what was going wrong in Reishu with the water reflections. Not only that, he was able to help me figure out what was going wrong with the SDL. I will cover that in a minute. It's one of the things I wanted to cover today. But anyway, the TLDR is, so there is a potential feature / potential bug with how you can set up specific things in the Blender setup for wave mesh sets and environment maps. Specifically, mostly just the environment maps, to be honest. Anyway, if you do things in a certain way, by default, the engine will render everything. And, so yeah, it turns out that was what was happening, is that I had accidentally found this mode where, it renders everything. But the problem that Adam didn't know that it did this, and I've sent him a test blend that he can use for debugging it already. So when he gets around to dealing with particles, so Reishu, one of the things that the apartment has or will have that I want it to have, and I'm been working with Aaron on trying to get this done. Aaron did the fire particles for Neighbors Beach. Anyway, so the important thing to keep in mind here is, so while we were trying to figure out the particles for Reishu, we noticed that there was an issue. And that issue was that when particles were set to... when particles were added to the age while an environment map set was active, specifically the busted environment map set that I didn't know at the time was busted to set no, not busted. Busted is the wrong word. What I didn't know was that the environment map set that was reflecting everything was going to include everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. And that is to say, that includes particles. And what Adam did not know about the reflect everything mode, until I brought it up to his attention, is that when particles are reflected by an environment map, they get very, very, very confused. And what I mean by that is seizure flicker. Yeah, basically, the particles get confused whether they're supposed to be facing the player camera or the reflection map camera. So yeah, you can start to see how that would cause some problems, right? Yeah, basically, what's been going on is, the environment map has been reflecting a whole lot of things that it really shouldn't have been reflecting. And not only that, particles don't like being reflected, it seems like, in the current build of the plasma engine. So, anyways, we figured out that particles being set to reflect causes them to get very confused. And yeah, basically we have made Adam aware of the issue. And when he finally gets around to working on particles, which is all going to be dependent on his time and energy and effort and all that, Adam will eventually get around to working on it, and he will have access to figuring out whether this is something that needs to be blocked on the Korman end, or is an issue that needs to be fixed in the engine rendering. So it is, the bug has been reported, it is out of my hands, and it's in Adam's when he gets around to working on particles. He's still recovering from a cold at the moment, so I do not expect any progress on that anytime soon, but we all have to recover when we have colds, so... Anyways, yeah, so particles. Particles. I'm realizing now this may have been easier for me to have just made a new mesh rather than trying to copy all of this. But I'm already committed, so yeah. We are committed, we will work on it, we will make things work for whatever. We'll get things ready. We just gotta select all of the faces. I am literally holding down the control key with one finger while clicking on everything with the other. Yeah. And you might be thinking, boy, I'm selecting a bunch of faces that are kind of sticking above the waterline, aren't I? Yeah, I am. I'm going to have to level this out. Once I think that's everything. Okay. Yeah, I think that's everything now. Okay. You can see where past me did not quite get everything leveled up with the water correctly. But yeah, we'll deal with that later. That is future me's problem. Anyway, we're going to now tools, duplicate, P by selection. I'm gonna pull out of this specific one view. I'm gonna select. There we go. Let's turn back. Face calling back on. So yeah. This is going to be our. I'm gonna remove that. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to remove the force RT lighting. This is going to be our water basin reflection pool. And it's going to have every single texture on it deleted. Woohoo! Yay! I'm going to create a new texture. And sky reflection and map. Gonna create a new texture. This is gonna be set to environment map. So, before I really get into it, what the specific issue is, the very specific issue, is right here, where we have render avatars and visibility set. Now, when you watch me do the overflow station, you saw me click this, and I created a visibility set. What I didn't do in the case of Ray's Shoe, and also in the case of a Neighbor environment map that I created afterward, around the same time, was I did not create a visibility set, and then I unchecked render avatars. And what unchecking render avatars and not having a visibility set does, you guessed it, it reflects everything in the age. Yeah. So yeah, that is basically what happened. Now then, I believe there's some kind of file. No, there's a select. Okay, well, first off, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start deleting. Rather, I'm just going to grab these. I'm going to delete those. I'm going to take this. I'm going to layer it down to here. And then I'm going to grab my z-axis here. And I'm just going to start applying it to every vertex that sticks up out of the water. At least the ones that are right at the water's edge. That way, once I have a flat line, I can use to delineate my top point at Yeah, you see now I could come along and select these faces that are at the very top and poking out. And see, by leveling it like this, it'll make it, this is going to be the equivalent of having started with a flat plane and then making a new mesh. But I'm being lazy, and I want to have my water mesh kind of generally actually match the topography of what I've already built. So yeah, we're having some fun here. I'm just gonna keep on selecting the specific things to make sure they're all the same height. Yeah, it's gonna look a little funky in the end, but we are going to deal with it. Anyway, yeah, so, another thing, Alright, so SDLs. I will elaborate on the SDLs in a moment. So, those of you who have been following me for a while probably are aware that, I don't want to erase that one. I want to do that one. Yeah, there we go. Those of you who are familiar with Reishu probably know I've had issues with the journey door and several animations working oddly. The TLDR on that is, so in more recent versions of the Plasma engine, the client is a lot less forgiving with improperly formatted SDL variables. And I had one improperly formatted SDL variable. I had started a SDL variable with a number instead of a letter. You might be thinking, what does that matter? It's still starting a letter with a number. It's still starting a variable, right? Well, in older versions, they were a lot more forgiving about that. Older versions of the Plasma engine, it was a lot more forgiving about that. But, so the Huru folks have been doing a whole lot of cleaning up various engine issues. You know, old bugs and all sorts of unused code and all of that. You know, general modernization and cleanup and optimization stuff. Right? Right. Anyway, the problem basically comes to when they were cleaning things up, one of the changes somewhere in there basically made it so that it's less forgiving towards an SDL variable starting with a number versus starting with a letter. And so it saw that I had one random SDL variable starting with a number. And it decided to chunk the entire variable file. Yeah, that's right. It literally decided, well, this is inaccurate, so we're just going to we're just going to ignore the whole thing, which caused all of the issues with the doors happening weirdly. And it took us 8 months before somebody finally looked at the whole thing and realized, oh, this is the SDL issue. It's not an engine issue. It's not a server issue. We weren't... See, none of us were really sure what I was doing wrong with my specific animation variables, because at first everyone could see I did them right. I set those up correctly. But I had a random variable in the SDL file that was unrelated to all of those, and that just screwed up the whole thing. So basically, my advice to you is, when you're making an SDL variable, is do not start it with a number. Start it with a letter. You will be happier for it. Okay, now here's something where I'm going to have to make a decision here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to select this, Control-T, and then I'm just going to delete that face. Hey, look at that, it's level again. So yeah, So that was 2 cases of my bad causing me problems, and I just wasn't having people look in the right places to figure things out until I basically was just like, okay, screw it, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna ping the main guy in charge, that being Adam, and yeah. At least in the case of the water reflection, I pinged him directly. It was just like, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what's going on with this. And then he told me about the way that it can reflect everything. And yeah. As for the SDL issue, basically somebody else, well, at least 2 other people were having similar issues to what I was having issues with. And yeah, it all came down to the game engine was chucking out the SDL file. Okay, I'm seeing some overhang here that I'm gonna have to deal with later. I'm probably just gonna mess with that by scaling it outwards, but anyway, yeah, so, that's been my week. We're gonna come back over here now, because this is where I need to start picking up the... Okay, now then, I'm gonna have to put in a face, put in a face, put in a face. Yay, level. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, so there's some lessons learned. And I've mostly just been talking to myself the entire time, but that's fine. That is perfectly fine. Ooh, I see an issue coming up where I need... Yep, I screwed up by trying to raise those. I'm gonna lower those down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's all one solid line of planes. Now you might be asking, why don't I just do the line selection instead of the vertex selection? Because all of these lines are not even with each other, and I'm trying to make everything even. If I adjusted the vertices, we would have uneven surface at the top, and it would cause things to yeah, not be even when it came time to generating the environment, the water reflection. So yeah. Yeah, see how these are sloping backwards? Now this is what I want versus these sloping inwards, because... yeah. Man, it doesn't really matter too much how I'm getting these leveled out. I'm just trying to get these. Okay. That's most of my line leveled out here. Time to switch to face selection. And just start going ham on these faces here. Ah, I see a bit of unevenness here. Boop. 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 There we go. Then we've got some faces. Control T. Boop. Boom. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to select this specifically. Okay. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to scale it out by the x-axis and scale it out by the... hold on. I'm going to scale it by the x-axis by... Actually, I'm just going to do it manually by doing... No, let me type it. 1.5 and 1.5. Which did not work. We're gonna have to do this manually. We're gonna have to grab all of our top faces, or top edges rather. Boom. Okay, so I'm gonna scale that by the x-axis, scale that by the y-axis. In, that back. Okay, now we've got some overhang here. So what instead I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab these and do that. Okay. I'm going to come along here and look for any other potential overhang. Yep. I'm going to pull that out. Pull that up. Yep. Okay. And we're looking to make sure that nothing is kind of yeah, like see these little bits here. We want to make sure that these are... We want to make sure that there aren't bits. You want to make sure there's no overhanging, like this and this and this and this. It can cause some unruly looking graphical issues. So I'm just going to pull that. And you might be thinking, hey, isn't this an overhang? No, that's not the kind of overhang where... Actually, it is. That is. Thank you, non-corporeal reader, for pointing that out. Because that was actually the kind of issue I've been looking for here. Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay, this may potentially still cause us issues. This may potentially still cause us issues, but I'm willing to give this a chance and then hammer down specific areas where it looks visually unappealing. I say, and then I keep doing the things that I'm doing. But yeah. Yeah, that might cause me problems. Yeah. Okay. Well, for the moment, this is good enough. But yeah, so let's actually add in our wave set. Geometry waves and texture waves. Right. So I'm gonna open up Overflow Station. Oh, don't get me started on Overflow Station at the moment. Ugh. Come on. Blender's hanging. Give me a second. It's doing weird things. Yep, it's still showing the other Blender. Come on. Well, anyways, I just need the environment map number. Anyways, you don't need to see me grab it. Okay. Geometry waves, texture waves. Okay. Repeat after me. Min length 6. Max length 10.25. Amplitude unchanged. Choppiness unchanged. Wave spread 45. I need to actually give the environment map here a specific name. This is going to be our sky reflection map. And out of curiosity, I did not actually give it its own texture file. It just needs to be a UV map. So we'll come back down here. I'm going to give this a bit of another orangish, reddish hue, even though it's water. That's supposed to be blue, but Anyways, we'll get to our wind object in a minute. Right, wind speed 0.01. Environment map. Let me just tag in a bunch of zeros. Specular tint. We're going to drag that down to the reddish hues, reddish orange hues again. Opacity, -1, and 3 alpha. 0.95. Specular 40 and at 400. Reflections start at 0 and at 20. Noise 5. Ripple scale 45. Wave start 0 and 0.5. Texture waves min length 0.78. Max length 10.25. Amplitude unchanged. Choppiness unchanged. Wave spread 45. Boom. Okay. Now, then. You may be thinking, okay, what now? I see some things here that are, boom, boom, there we go. Some things that are being a little annoyingly, okay, let's pull that down. Okay. Pull that down. Pull that down. Okay. Okay. Now then. I'm going to put my cursor right there. Okay. Object mode. I'm going to create our empty object. And just to make sure, grab it. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to try to average this in the middle about here. This is going to be our wave, wind, empty, height, direction. And for the moment, I am leaving it at the exact height that our waterline is, because we need to test to see where this waterline is going to be compared to our avatar's height in the water. And anyway, I just realized we are missing a big old chunk off the end here. We need to, yeah, we need to fix that. But anyway, before I do that, wind, wave, reflection, empty. Okay. And we're going back to our environment map, and we need to wind. Yeah, map. We need wind width. The height direction. I'm just making that one object do everything. Okay. So then, let us zoom out here, and I'm going to select this. No, I need one more thing. I need this. There we go. So, tab. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Tab. Okay. I need to find a vertex that is in alignment. As far as my Y alignment goes, I'm going to select this vertex. that's starting to level things out. And just like before, I'm going to try to level it out like this, just to give myself an excess that I can then delete later. Damn it. Copied instead of pasted. Okay. And then like so. Do like so. And I'm gonna take a risk. Come on. Come on, let me select the gosh dang thing. There we go. Control T. There we go. Ah, that's always lovely when that works. That's in position. That's in position. And that's in position. Did I get the height on that? I did not get the height on that. There we go. And now we can select these, delete those faces. Ugh, that's nasty overhang. Yeah, we're just gonna pull that out by the x-axis a bit there. Anyways. We're just gonna select that whole wall there, make a face. Oopsie, that did not work because that had an extra line in there. Face, Control T. And now we have a solid-ish. Yeah, that's still not quite where I want that to be. So I'm gonna select all of these. I'm gonna pull it forwards, pull it out, pull it forwards, pull it out. And then, because that's awkward, I'm going to take that. Nope, I'm going to take that. Put that there. Nope, wrong one. There. There we go. Now that cleaves directly underneath the board, and this will obscure where the water lines transition between one wave set and the other. Yay! Okay. Now then, like I said, I'm going to show you the stupid environment map issue. So yeah, we're going to come down here. Oh, where was it? Where was it? No, that's the wrong thing. This is the right texture. Here we go. So we're coming down here. Okay, so we have our viewpoint object. I'm going to show you the issue. So we are triggering the condition here. I have no visibility set created. I have rendered avatars unchecked. We're going to save. And we're going to export. And you will see that because I have only set up a viewpoint object, it will now reflect every single thing that I do not want it reflecting. That's right. Anyways. I'm going to close down Overflow Station because I don't need it anymore. So yes, this is me intentionally triggering a bug so you can see how it looks in-game. Which, I mean, we've already technically seen how it looks in-game, but, You know what I mean. But yeah. And we're loading up, loading up, loading up. Loading, loading, loading. Ba, 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 ba. Anyway, yeah, here we are in the office. Not much has changed. You are not supposed to be here, you little D20. How did you get up here? More to the point, where's Eddie? Anyway, I'm building an in-progress abduction seed swapper. Let's jump down here. No, but seriously, where's Eddie? How did my D20 get up there? Anyway, so, you'll notice that we have our... Yeah, I have screwed it up because, yeah. Things are not quite lining up right. Yay! Yeah, anyway, let me, if you look under here, yeah, look, we got our reflection going on, and boy, it's got, it's hard to tell from down here, but, yeah, it's got everything reflecting, and we do not want it reflecting everything. Because, yeah, you can see there's the cliffs, blah, blah, blah. What I want it reflecting is the sky, not everything else. What? How did Eddie get out here? How did you get out here, Eddie? What are you doing out here? How did you get out here? Well, that's a puzzle I'll figure out later. Anyways. Time to rectify this by going to our viewpoint object here. Boop. And we're going to create visibility control. This is going to be set to special FX, hide drawables. It's going to be disabled. And we're going to come back to here. Going to now add, boop, our big ol' fancy object. Okay. We're going to zip out of here. We are going to grab our sky sphere. I'm going to hit visibility set, and we're going to add the wind wave direction height thing. And I'm also going to add the sun to it. Just because. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take our big old plane here. And I'm going to disable its texture. I want to check to make sure the reflection is doing its thing, right? Actually, no, you know what? I'm actually just gonna flat out... No. Force real-time lighting. Yeah, I'm just gonna disable that for the moment, and we're gonna check and see if that works. Anyway, even if it... We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. Anyway. We're going to do another export, and then I'm going to call it for the stream once we... Actually, no, I'm going to do one more thing with the SDLs, and then I'll show you what I mean by the SDL stuff, and then we'll call it a stream, because I got other stuff to do today. Loading up. But yeah, at any rate, when we load in, even if we have to jump underwater, you will recognize the fact that, No, seriously, what are you doing up here, little D&D dice? You're not supposed to be up here. Yep, that didn't do what I expected it to do. But yeah, anyway, look. It's just red. It's just red now. There's nothing else in it. We're getting some weird funkiness around the edges, but that's what I'm going to be testing for. Anyway, yeah, but look. It just stops. It just stops. Yay. Okay. Right then. So, yes, that did exactly what I was hoping it would do. That did exactly what I was hoping it would do. It's going to be our swim plane object. And I'm going to set this to wire only. I will. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shrink it down now. Do. I'll take this and I'll pull it in to about there and grab this and pull it in to about, yeah, that'll do. That'll do for now. That'll do for now. Anyway, so, let me scooch everything over here, and we're going to switch to our text editor. I'm going to go to our SDL file. This is our SDL file. So yeah, let's add a new variable. So I'm not doing the chandelier up and down animation. I decided not to do that. I'm going to create a new thing. So let's call this the abduction seed open. And then because I forgot to do this, boom, okay. So this is a bool. This will be a 1, 2. So let's say we were being especially elite and we didn't want people to hack the text out, figure out the SDL, and just by calling it by what it is. So let's say I replaced all my O's with zeros here, and my I with a 1. And then my seed with 3s. Abduction seed opener. This would cause my entire SDL file to get thrown out. And all my other variables, nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Could not do anything. Cannot do anything. It just does not work. But if I then change that first O back to a proper O, and then I change that B to, say, an 8, so it's abduction, then this would work perfectly. It would not, because it starts with a letter, it's not looking at a number and getting totally confused. This works. This is not what I'm going to name this variable, but this is a valid format that would work. So yeah, that is basically the issue I was having in ratio, is that I had the variable named very weirdly. So yeah, that's it for today. I got things to get to. I will ban this user. Hold on one second. Goodbye, spam bot. Goodbye. So yeah, spam bot is taken care of. I'm going to call it for stream here. It's been an hour. I've got things to do, like upload my backlog of other streams. So, yeah. Later, everyone. Bye. I need a stream ending soon card. Dang it, I need to make a stream ending card.